Now, the last type is where we can't not do any of these where we don't know how many terms I'm adding together. So it says the sum of the first n terms of a geometric series is negative 819. Find the number of terms. Now, some of these are going to be a little bit difficult just because you have numbers going back and forth and going from there. So with any of these, I will give you a hint. You are going to have to turn this into a logarithm. So it's going to come back to what we did about 2 chapters ago. Okay? So somewhere I would put, you will change to a log, okay, or a logarithm. Just like we did 2 days ago whenever we did arithmetic sequence, or series, excuse me, we had to turn things into a quadratic or use a quadratic formula. Whereas here, we're going to have to use a logarithm, change a base, whatever you want to call it, to find the nth number of terms, or how many terms I'm going to add together. I still need basically 3 things. I need to know how many terms, I need to know what the first term is, and I need to know what the common ratio is. Obviously, we are solving for n, so we have no clue of what that number is. Do we know what the first term is? 1, okay, because we just looked at it right here. What is our common ratio? What number do we keep multiplying back and forth? -4. So now, again, it just becomes plugging it into our formula of S sub n equal to a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n power over 1 minus r. So what number goes in for S sub n? The negative 819, right? What goes in for the a sub 1? 1. In the fraction, I'm going to have what goes in for the r? -4. So I have 1 minus -4 to the nth power, and then 1 minus -4. Now, the biggest thing that happens on a problem like this is that students want to change the 2 signs here. You can't do that. We can on the bottom, we can't on the top. That makes sense? Okay? Why can we change the 2 signs on the bottom side of my fraction in the denominator spot, but we cannot do it on the top side? Right, we're taking -4 to a power. Okay? Whereas on the bottom side, we can turn the bottom side of our fraction into 1 plus 4. That's okay. And we can make this negative 819 equals, I'm just going to drop the 1 off that's in front because it really has no bearing on anything. So 1 minus -4 to the nth power all over 5. So now, I need to get n by itself. So what's the first thing I need to do to get n by itself? Any ideas? Times by 5. Okay? I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. So here and here. So I'm going to have negative 4,095 equal to 1 minus -4 to the nth power. What's the next thing that you think I need to do? Let's not divide. Let's just subtract. So then I have negative 4,096 equals negative of a negative 4 to the nth power. What's going to happen to the two negatives? This is why I couldn't change it before, basically, or one of the reasons. What's going to happen to the two negatives? Like, what's going to happen to the negative here and the negative there? They're going to go away, right? So then the left side is really 4,096 equal to negative 4 to the nth power. Here is where we change it to a logarithm. Once you get just the exponent by itself, then turn it into a logarithm. So now I'm going to move it up top here. So going off of what we did with logarithms and exponentials, how can I rewrite 4,096 equal to negative 4 to the nth power as a logarithm? Log base what? What's my base? Negative 4 of, what's my of number? 4,096 equals n. Now, from there, if I type in log base negative 4 of 4,096, what happens? I get an error. Okay, because it's a negative base, right? Calculator doesn't see it as a negative base. But we know that it's going to be a positive number, right? So in this case, does it really matter as far as if it's a positive 4 or a negative 4 that keeps getting multiplied? Like, in this case, can we just change this to log base 4 of 4,096? Yeah, right? Because the positive and negative, if it gets multiplied enough, it's going to be positive. So what kind of power is it going to have to be? If it's a negative and I'm going to take it to a power, what kind of number does that have to be? What kind of power does it have to be? Even or odd? Even, right? What's log base 4 of 4,096? 6. If you have a negative base, okay, here's kind of your disclaimer. If you have a negative base and you get a negative number, you can still you just have to kind of know the rules that negative base, odd power, it's going to be a negative number. Negative base, even power, it's going to be a positive number. Okay? If you don't have the calculator capabilities of just typing it straight in, remember you can do change of base, which is log of 4,096 divided by log of 4, and you're still going to get 6. Okay, it's still going to be a positive number. Okay, so this is the only time you can kind of interchange positive and negatives and still get the same value. Because if you just type in log base, even if you type in log of 4,096 divided by log of negative 4, you're still going to get a error. Okay, that's okay. It's going to happen. But you've got to know your rules as far as if you have an odd number taken to a power. If it's taken to an odd power, it's still going to be odd. If it's taken to an even power, it's going to be positive. Okay?